Welcome, beloved chosen souls. Listen carefully because this message isn't for the faint-hearted. It's for those who've been carrying an invisible weight, those who've been doubted, those who've been labeled paranoid simply because their eyes saw what others refused to acknowledge. Let's set this straight once and for all. You weren't paranoid. You were accurate. Let that sink in deeply, because some of you have spent years being gaslit into believing you imagined it all. You felt those red flags. You sensed that hidden betrayal. You knew that smile was masking envy. But they called you suspicious, too sensitive, even unstable. They made you question your own sanity until you almost started believing them. But the truth has finally arrived. The irony is this: the same people who called you paranoid are now facing the exact reality you predicted. The betrayal you felt brewing, confirmed. The deceit you sensed, hidden behind laughter, exposed. The manipulation you spotted from a mile away, undeniable now. Your intuition wasn't fear talking. It was spiritual insight, accuracy born from discernment. And now that the veil has lifted, your soul can finally breathe again. Because validation isn't always sweet. Sometimes it's a quiet, profound, painful confirmation that you were right all along. Chosen soul, let's break it down even deeper. You saw what you saw because your spirit was awake. It recognized energy that didn't match words. It detected lies disguised as love. You weren't negative. You were just too aware for comfort. Your gift of spiritual sight made others uncomfortable. So they labeled it paranoia, hoping you'd close your eyes. But your eyes remained open, didn't they? And now they're silent, not because they have nothing to say, but because everything you said has proven true. That silence isn't peace, it's shock. It's respect for the clarity they once mocked. Understand this clearly: your discernment is divine, a direct connection to wisdom higher than yourself. It isn't paranoia. It's protection, guidance, and revelation in action. Every uneasy feeling, every hesitation in your spirit, every quiet alarm, it was divine truth speaking to you. This is why they couldn't convince you otherwise, no matter how hard they tried. Truth cannot be unseen once you've felt it deep in your bones. Your spirit recognizes authenticity, and it also recognizes deception. Beloved, here's your confirmation. You are not crazy. You're not overly sensitive. You are not imagining things. You are being led. You are being protected. You are being given advance notice by the divine itself. And now your accuracy is your authority. It empowers you to trust yourself again, to move forward without apology, and to listen fiercely to the voice of truth within you. Let this moment be your turning point, the moment you refuse ever again to doubt your spirit's whisper. So walk boldly in this clarity, because you have now crossed from paranoia into power. You are accurate, and that accuracy is your spiritual weapon, your compass, your confirmation. They tried to clip your wings by calling you dramatic, but you weren't dramatizing. You were decoding. You weren't imagining enemies. You were discerning danger. You didn't mistrust too much. You trusted just enough to pay attention to what didn't align. They wanted you quiet. They wanted you numb. They wanted you to question yourself so that you wouldn't expose them. But the truth has its own rhythm. It doesn't beg for attention. It just waits. And when the truth arrives, it doesn't need to announce itself. It simply stands there, undeniable, immovable, and eternal. You were carrying truth in a room full of masks. You were holding light in a place designed to stay dark. Of course they called you dangerous, because your presence threatened illusions they depended on. Beloved, here's your confirmation. You are not crazy. You are not overly sensitive. You were not imagining things. You were being led. You were being protected. You were being given advance notice by the divine itself. And now your accuracy is your authority. It empowers you to trust yourself again, to move forward without apology, and to listen fiercely to the voice of truth within you. Let this moment be your turning point, the moment you refuse ever again to doubt your spirit's whisper. So walk boldly in this clarity, because you have now crossed from paranoia into power. You are accurate, and that accuracy is your spiritual weapon, your compass, your confirmation. They tried to clip your wings by calling you dramatic, but you weren't dramatizing. You were decoding. You weren't imagining enemies. You were discerning danger. You didn't mistrust too much. You trusted just enough to pay attention to what didn't align. They wanted you quiet. They wanted you numb. They wanted you to question yourself so that you wouldn't expose them. But the truth has its own rhythm. It doesn't beg for attention. It just waits. And when the truth arrives, it doesn't need to announce itself. It simply stands there, undeniable, immovable, and eternal. You were carrying truth in a room full of masks. You were holding light in a place designed to stay dark. Of course they called you dangerous, because your presence threatened illusions they depended on. Let that sit with you. Some people didn't hate you because of who you are. They hated the clarity you bring. You didn't break anything. You just revealed what was already broken. And now, here you are, still standing, still discerning, still tuned into the frequency of heaven. Every time you were dismissed, heaven documented it. Every tear you cried when no one believed you was sacred ink on your scroll. Every moment you questioned yourself, God was whispering, "You're not crazy, you're called. You don't need revenge. You don't need apologies. You don't need them to come back and say, you were right. You already know you were, and that knowing is your liberation. This is your season to walk in what they tried to shame you out of. This is your hour to trust your discernment louder than their opinions. This is your confirmation that the insight they rejected was actually your evidence that you were chosen. Chosen to see, chosen to feel, chosen to detect, chosen to cut through what others normalize. So take your accuracy and let it guide you now. Let it be your filter, your force field, your fierce remembrance of who you are. From this day forward, you trust yourself with new eyes. You honor what your body tells you. You no longer explain what your spirit confirms. You no longer shrink when your clarity creates distance. Because distance was protection, because silence was preservation, because doubt was direction. You weren't paranoid. You were chosen to perceive what others ignore. You were appointed to see what others suppress. You were built to navigate lies and still walk in truth. You didn't survive their accusations to stay silent now. You didn't carry that discernment to keep it buried. You didn't suffer to stay small. You suffered to be sharpened, and now you're dangerous. Not because you attack, but because you see. You see what they pretend doesn't exist. You see what they cover with charm and charisma. You see the unseen, and what you see is holy. You weren't paranoid. You were accurate. And now you lead. Now your vision becomes shelter for others. Now your scars become maps. Now your warnings become wisdom. You are the one who sees storms before the clouds form. You are the one who hears shifts in the spirit before the world reacts. You are the one who walks ahead, so others don't fall into what you already climbed out of. You're no longer just the one who sees. You're the one who is seen. The one who endured ridicule is now the voice they listen for. The one they silenced is now the anchor they cling to. So walk as one who is trusted. Walk as one who has weathered the internal storm and come out knowing. Walk as one who bears the mark of divine clarity. The world is noisy, the deception is loud, but your accuracy is still quiet, still steady, still undefeated. They mocked you when you were early. Now they run to you because you were right. So don't hide, don't dim, don't deny your knowing. What you see, say it. What you sense, honor it. What you discern, trust it. You weren't paranoid. You were appointed. You were sent. You were accurate. And now your clarity is your crown. Your discernment is your domain. Your truth is your torch. And this world will never again convince you to question what God made crystal clear. You are chosen. You are awake. You are ready. and you were right all along. If this resonated deeply, don't hold it back. Click like, share this message to empower someone who's been gaslit into silence. And subscribe because here, truth isn't just spoken, it's confirmed. Until next time, chosen souls, stay clear, stay vigilant, stay blessed. You've passed through the fire, and you've come out refined. You've listened in silence, and now you speak with clarity. You've waited in shadows, and now you step into your light. There's no going back to shrinking. There's no returning to pretending. There's no comfort in confusion. Now, you choose truth every time. Now you stand firm even when alone. Now your posture is not of defense, but of authority. The storm didn't break you, it baptized you. The loneliness didn't crush you, it clarified you. The rejection didn't end you, it revealed you. You are what they never expected. Whole, you are what they feared you'd become. Bold, you are what you were always meant to be, awakened. So walk forward, walk wise, walk chosen, because your eyes are open, and your spirit is no longer apologizing for what it sees. You weren't paranoid. You were anointed to see what others deny. You were accurate, and that accuracy has become your mantle. Wear it, lead with it, guard it. The world needs more eyes open, more hearts discerning, more voices willing to say, I saw it, I felt it, I was right. Now go and speak for those still doubting their clarity. Shine for those still hidden in gaslit confusion. Be the confirmation someone else is aching to receive, and never again doubt the divine truth that has always lived in you. You weren't paranoid, you were prepared.